How?
Helicopter.
The blades blew the snow off the telephone. Now, in the heart of winter in Canada, Canadian Telecom send helicopters straight down telephone lines to blow the snow off. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it started with someone talking about baseball bats. My point being is there's no such thing as a bad idea. There is what we call the accident on purpose moment. It pivots. You need to build, you need to grow. So whatever it is you're doing in life, when you're looking at it and you think, I'm scared of this, or this isn't happening, or this isn't working, and oh, that's daft, I should never do it this way, it's probably the bit that you're thinking is daft that's going to get you to where you want to. Remember I said to you that in this journey, you'll never get to your end destination because your landscape and your path will change. It's up to you to pivot along the line. So remember, baseball bats and helicopters can change the world. Next slide. So, this is what we're going to work on now. We've got about half an hour. Okay. I'm going to talk you through this very quickly. For those of you who weren't at my talk yesterday, I came up with this idea called ISBA. It's a way of actually overcoming challenge, fear, and working on a more progressive, elastic mindset. Now, before we go into this, and I'm going to take some live examples from some of you, and we're going to try and work it through this process, I want to tell you how I came up with this. So, and I'm going to do this as quickly as I can. I do like stories, so I hope you guys are okay with that. But in 2011, we had the riots in the UK, and as a point of the riots, I perceive this as something where young people kind of shouting out and saying, we've got issues, you know, there are issues here that we can't solve, we don't know where our futures are going. So I came up with an idea to actually have an event, but no one was taking me seriously. So at that point, I decided I was going to appoint the Prime Minister of the UK to help me. But it's not as straightforward as just going up and ringing, hello Mr. Cameron, can you help me out? It doesn't really work that way. But to cut long story short, through a process of networking and sharing visions, I managed to get in front of the Prime Minister. And I made some real bad choices before I met the Prime Minister. I went out and instead of sitting in a coffee shop waiting, I went to a bar and had a few beers, and I pretty much was fluffing my lines when I got to the stage of meeting him. And I want you to recognize this, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you work really hard to get to a point. You've got to the point you want to be at. And have you ever felt that you fluffed your lines? Have you ever felt like you're losing control? Have you ever felt like, oh my God, it took me 6 months to get here, and in 45 seconds it's just gone, it's taken away from me? Have you felt like that? What did you do? You prayed and you go, this lady really likes crying, right? You prayed and she cried. Okay, you took some action, but if you are destined, if this is your purpose, if this is your mission, something naturally will take over from you. And at that point, what I actually did is, as the Prime Minister was walking away, in his backyard, down the street, I put my arm on his arm. I literally grabbed hold of his arm and I'm like, oh my God, what have I just done? Now remember, there's no such thing as a bad idea, okay? But I did really think at that point they'll never let Indians into Downing Street ever again. Anyway, I swiveled him round, which was quite dramatic, and I did this. I told him about an issue. In 45 seconds, I imparted a vision on how to actually get someone to come and work with me. I told him that we have 1 million young unemployed people in the UK, and as a result of this, they're going onto the streets and rioting. These issues are causing death, and we don't know the uncertainty of where the futures are going. My solution is I want to produce an event that will showcase and help young people find opportunities, but also give industry and institutions an opportunity to see what young people can do. My barrier, my challenge, is that no one takes me seriously. They don't know who I am. So all I want from you, Mr. Prime Minister, is a letter. Just the one letter that will endorse the show, and I'll do the rest from there. That letter came in July 2012. In October 2012, I'd raised £250,000 and put together a national show, which is still the largest show in the UK for young people. We gave away £750,000 of funding, startup funding, social enterprise funding, jobs, apprenticeships, you name it, we impacted. But what I'm talking about here is if you don't follow a process to understand the issues, you're never going to get to the destination that you want to be at. Next, sorry, not next slide yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at an issue. The problem we have is every time we look at an issue, we start thinking about what we can't do. I want to start up a business, but I can't because I haven't got the money. I want to start a business, but I can't because I don't know how to code. I want to start a business, but I don't know if I have the time. I want to do this, but I can't do this. I want to stop that BS. Stop thinking about what you can't, and I want you to flip your head. So what we're going to do is put yourself in the room of possibilities. I want you to start ideating what the solution to that problem is going to be. I want you to start thinking about, if I could have everything and anything in the world, what do I want and what do I need to solve that problem? Now, you've got what we call a dream. You've got a visualization. If you can't dream it, you can't chase it. If you haven't dreamt it, all you're going to chase is your tail. So anything you're going to chase, you're going to become what we call a busy fool. Then, reality kicks in. Not blockades, barriers. Does everyone know what barrier is? We've got one right outside the hotel. What happens when you have a barrier presented in front of you? Now over here in India, what I've seen is just go beep, and the barrier lifts. You've had to take some form of action to overcome the barrier. It's not there to blockade you, it's there to challenge you to say, do something, and I'll get out of your way. But everyone that builds capacity in their idea gets to this point and goes, oh, there's a barrier there, that's it, I can't do anymore. Do you know that if it's meant to be, you'll have more challenges than you'll have easiness in what you're doing? Which means that every time you're coming against the barrier in a challenge, you're getting bigger, stronger, better, faster at what you're doing. And that tells me, when I get to this point, it's what's stopping me. It tells me instantly what I've got to go out and do. So, the way this works, and hopefully this will work in this session here, is the actions that you take are to overcome the barriers that you have, the challenges, to the idea that you want, to the problem that you want to solve. So if we turn it upside down, this is how we're going to work. But we're going to return it back at ISBA. So can I have the next slide, please? So, who's got issues? I say that when I go, who's got issues? I've got issues. Does anyone want to give me a challenge that they have currently that they're facing? Yeah. Obesity. Okay. When you are talking about overeating, when you come and look at a problem, we are very macro level. We look at problems from a very large perspective. Obesity, you said obesity. How big is that subject and topic? But then you started to bring it down to one capacity, which is overeating. So, when you look at your issues, the first thing you've got to do is bring it down to a micro level, not a macro. Stop trying to solve large problems, because they will never solve them. Find one strand, one thread of that problem. Now this lady here has mentioned one called overeating. Who else has got an issue?
Gluttony.
Sorry?
Gluttony.
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 Gluttony. Oh. It's glutton for punishment, that is, basically. Okay, who else has got a challenge? Yep.
Raising brand awareness.
Raising brand awareness. Okay, that's a good one.
Over-worrying.
Over-worrying. Okay, interesting.
Over-worrying, over-fearing.
Overcomplicating things. Okay, that's a good one. Anyone else want to share these? Because we're going to do these in quick succession. I'm going to take every single one of these and we're going to come out with an action at the end. Procrastinate. Oh, I love that one. That's my favorite one. Procrastination. We're all procrastinators of the world. Okay. For each of you that have raised that problem, I want you to now start thinking deeper about that issue. You want to raise awareness on your brand. But what is the deep issue? Is it that people are not recognizing it? Not the effort that you're putting in. Where is the root of that problem? Where is the root of the procrastination? Sorry? Marriage. Okay.
You have to be with the family, extended family. You want to do something.
Yeah.
But then there's your husband, your children.
Okay.
And kind of you reach the third month and you say, oh, what a really problem. You drop it and then get back to me.
So it's the cycle. It's the so now when you start asking yourself the question what and why, just like a child says, why is this? Why? And you're like, shut up. What you're doing is you're breaking it down to a real micro level. You're now bringing it down to a core issue. Now you've got the core issue in your head. Okay? Next slide, please. Right. You are in the room of possibilities. Now, this is what we call unconventional thinking. You will find this a little bit uncomfortable to do. Okay? But I want you to now say, you've got everything and anything in your power. Everything and anything in your power. You can have anything you want. You want $1 million, you want Richard Branson, you want a better husband, whatever it is that you want, you can have everything. I want you to now start listing what is it you want and what is it you need. What is it you want and what is it you need? Be more prescriptive. From the procrastination, what there is a desire within. When you come up with a problem, it's counterfaced with your perception of something else that you see. It's a problem. It's only a problem because you see it as a problem. So I'm saying to you now, unconventionally, you can have anything you want. What do you want? You want Martin Sorrell to be your brand PR guy? Do you want David Beckham to be the face of your brand? I don't care. I've had people say, I want my shop of Mars. I want you to think, dig deep, go unconventional, because this is the only 2 or 3 minutes you're going to have to do it ever again. I want you to think beyond the convention. This is not about being pragmatic. This is about
What you want, what you need.
what do you want?
You want desire. Like
Yeah.
you imagine, you want whole world in you.
Yes.
Right. And need it in the system.
Yes. So what kind of assistant? Who could, you may have someone that you over worry, so I want the world's best coach to be alongside me. Put the name down who it is. I want this person. The reason I'm getting you to do this is I'm getting you to take your problem and I'm getting you to visualize what the solution to that problem is. Okay? Make it as big and as bold as you can be. Because what you're asking for, it's not that far away. I had someone a couple of weeks ago, she designs customized shoes. And she goes, my brand it's not getting out there, people aren't doing this, people aren't. I said, so we took her through this process. And I said to her, when I got to this stage, I said, whose feet do you want those shoes on? And she goes, sorry? And I said, I'm giving you 15 minutes to think about every single person in the world that you want